Hello and welcome back. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch these videos. I'm pretty sure they're going to help you. The one I want to talk about today, what I really want to talk about today is marketing, because this is one of the biggest things you're going to face once you've qualified from this course. You'll be looking at ways to maximize your revenue in terms of how much money you make and how you do that, getting clients to come through the door. Now, believe me, I have made every mistake on this. I have placed adverts in, the first thing I did was I put an advert in Yellow Pages, which is the thing we have in England. And, it cost, I think, £800 or something. And I really believe that I never got that money back. It was really a case of who was going to ring up when there was 500 adverts for hypnotherapists in one place. Now, obviously, if you live in a small place, you have a niche market, then maybe advertising in journals like that is a good thing. But I've learned mistakes along the way, and I really feel it's a case of using your personality. Because the most success I think I ever had initially was I went into a leisure centre in North London. And, I just said to the guy behind there, do you have any therapists here? And he said, well, no, we just have a girl that does massage. And I said, well, look, I offer these services, and I listed them quite clearly, all the skills that I had. And I said, would you mind if I put a brochure there? And he said, no, absolutely not, no problem at all. So I placed this brochure thing at the front of the desk, and of course, being a leisure centre and gym, lots of people coming in and out all day long and all evening. And the phone was off the hook. It was amazing. And it didn't cost me a thing. And I obviously felt quite guilty about it. I made a deal with the leisure centre and paid them a certain amount for the room. But what I was doing was using somebody else's facilities. There was already a lovely room there that the massage girl was using. And she was only in there a few hours a week, literally. So I just used to ring up and say, is the room available this time? Can you give me a schedule for the week? And they would tell me when the room was available. Sometimes it was the evening, but that's fine. Clients will come to you in the evening because they go to work. So you've got to get used to being flexible. And I used the room and I did really well. And of course, this thing I talk about, one good job brings you 3 more, in my experience, is really what we call the word of mouth scenario, where you're doing a good job, somebody's happy with what you do, they're going to tell people. This is especially true of women who really like to talk about, they're very open women, aren't they? So they're going to talk about something they've done to their friends or their family. And, before you know it, you're going to get calls that say, oh, I saw this person, he really helped me out, and you helped my friend out, and can you do the same for me? That certainly was the case with me when I started to do quite a lot of weight loss for girls. Basically, it was like a network of girls that all knew each other that came to me one after the other. It was great. So, marketing, what's the minimum you need? Well, a website is obviously very good, because now people are very aware of who they choose. And I know I do that. If I was looking to have my house painted or to go to a hotel or something, I will browse the internet, I will look at the pictures, I will go with what I call my instinctive feeling. So if you can stretch to a website, I would say that's your first port of call. You should be able to get one made, a very simple one, a 2 or 3 page website which tells them about you. A picture is good, I think, and people will look at the website when they see your advert, wherever that advert is, whether it's in like a local newsagent's. Try and keep the cost down. That's the lesson I learned. I went straight in. I must have a professional ad, £800, minimal response. Takes a long time to earn that money back. So use your superconscious mind, think of really good ways of getting your name out, spreading the word, have a website, be professional with that website, explain what you can do. Please don't put down what you can't do, let your skills develop. You can always update the website later on as you become more proficient. Maybe as I didn't do addictions to start with, I didn't know where to start with that, but once I became proficient in some areas, I then went on to do addiction, so I was able to add that to the site. And this is very important, that you can have a website where you have access to the admin area and you can then change it. You may want to change your pricing structure. Okay? Now, talking about pricing, don't go in too low. People value certain commodities. I'll give you an example, a mistake I made. When I first qualified, I decided I must know how much everyone's charging. So I did that thing that people have done to me subsequently, ringing around all the therapists in the area, or getting someone else to do it, and say, excuse me, how much do you charge for stop smoking? And they say X amount. And I think, right, okay, I'll undercut that. I'll do that for £20 less. Doesn't work. It really doesn't bring you great volume of traffic. People really respect people who charge the going rate for something. I realised that very early on, and I did a couple of jobs, to be honest. A girl came to me and she had been to see another guy down the road and she wasn't satisfied. And I said, you know, I can help you. And I think I was charging something, it was early on, something like £40. She said, oh, I gave that guy £60. I said, oh, really interesting. She said, you're much better, you've really understood what I need. And I thought, wow, yeah, actually, I have a value that I can offer to people, so I need to put my prices up. So when I doubled my prices, bizarrely, my phone was off the hook. People immediately thought, God, this guy must be good. And I was good. There was no, lying about it. I was charging what I was worth for the work that I was doing, because I went the extra mile. I didn't book people for 1 hour as per se, so they would come for 60 minutes and I'd say, oh, I've got somebody else now, well, your time's up, you need to come back next week. I never did that. What I did was said, you're coming to see me, some sessions last 45 minutes, some can last an hour and a half, but you only pay the set fee. I just want to get the job done for you. And that approach seemed to work really well, because people didn't feel they were clock watching. If they were talking to you, they didn't think, oh my God, I'm going into another second hour here, he's going to charge me this, that and the other. So that's one tip that I think will work for you, because it certainly worked for me. Set your rate and call it a session rate, not a minute rate or an hour rate or something like that. Just have a start and a stop in your mind, and somewhere between 40 minutes and an hour and a half was how I worked, and I charged them the same. Sometimes they were with me for 40 minutes. I clearly explained that. Sometimes for an hour, sometimes for an hour and a half. All right? So I hope that helps, and let's move on. More videos to come, more tips, and of course, as I said before, email me. I want to help you. You can Skype me. All the data's there on this website. And we can work together. Okay, I don't have any fancy staff that help me out. I'm totally independent, and I'll be there for you all the way. Okay, excellent.